So what we're going to do today is we're going to do a video about chickens, because I've seen in the news that a bunch of people have been trying to go get chickens from breeders because they've found out that, oh, I can get my own eggs and I can't get them in the shops at the moment because everything's crazy. But I just wanted to do a quick PSA saying that obviously chickens are little lives that you need to take care of. You know, you can't just sort of grab them on a whim. You need to take care of them. They need a little house to sleep in at night. They need their food and water bowls, especially chicken ones, and cleaning and all of that sort of thing. So I would definitely recommend you need to spend a bit of time really thinking about it before you just have chickens. And here's some things that you might not know about chickens as well that might feed into if you want chickens. So without further ado, here's 6 things you need to know about owning chickens. So number 1, I don't know who needs to know this, but I keep coming across people that need to know this. You don't need a cockerel to have eggs. So you can just have hens, you don't need a boy. Because a lot of people have said to me like, oh, I would love chickens, but I don't want to have to listen to them crowing every morning. And I was just like, well, we don't have cockerels, so we don't have to have them crowing in the morning. And then they look at you really befuddled like, oh, why do you have chickens and what's the point, you don't have eggs? And it's like, no, you do have eggs, because they produce eggs no matter what. It's if you have a cockerel then you can have babies, but without the cockerel then you can just have eggs, so you don't need a cockerel to have eggs. But number 2 from that is that hens actually are loud all on their own. So no, they're not as loud as a cockerel, and oh my god, I'm so glad we don't have a cockerel. Hens pretty noisy, so like after they've just laid an egg they kind of make this really loud sort of noise, sort of announcing that they've laid an egg. I googled that recently to find out if there's like any sort of reason why they're doing that, and apparently it's a way of saying like, oh, I've laid my egg, guys, like if you guys want to use the barn now to lay your eggs, just go for it. I don't know why it has to be so loud, and we have only 3, so I don't know why, you know, but apparently that could be a reason. I really don't know though, but yeah, they can be really loud, and especially recently we've been letting them roam outside of their little zone and into the whole of the garden and just wandering about, and they've been kind of making a lot of noise, announcing that they would like to go into the rest of the garden, so bear in mind they can be pretty noisy. Number 3 I would say is that, coming off of that, you really can't train chickens. So yeah, I would love to train them out of making that noise, but if they're doing that because it's like a behavioural thing, it's really hard to get rid of that in chickens. So anything they do, I've not really trained them, it's just behavioural learning. So when I unclip their box of food and treats, they all come running to me because that noise means food. One other thing that they do behaviourally that doesn't happen straight away, you kind of have to get them into it depending on where you got your chickens from, but ours had lived, before they lived with us, they lived in a little like just entirely closed in area where they were completely safe, and then they would just sort of sit down to go to sleep in the same zone. They didn't have a separate like place to go to bed at night. Whereas we have a little chicken coop, and then they just wander free range around their space and the garden sometimes. So what they need to learn, or at least ours had to learn, was that they needed to go to bed at night. So the first night they kind of just were hanging about a lot and they weren't going to bed. So I kind of shuffled them in a bit, but after honestly like 2 days, once the sun goes down or starts to set, the chickens go to bed and they take themselves off to bed, and then you just have to shut the door behind them and make sure they're safe from chickens. Make sure they're safe from foxes, not chickens. And yeah, then that's kind of like the only really important thing that they have to learn, but they really do just get on with it themselves. They are quite capable. They work out that in there is safe, they work out that they lay eggs there, because that's the other thing as well, is that they have to work out where they lay their eggs, because you kind of don't want them just popping them out anywhere. So ours were actually pretty good, to be honest. We just took out the sideboards that were blocking the laying spaces for when they were too young to lay, so they didn't just think it was like you know, somewhere to poop or whatever. And then they, when they started laying on Christmas Eve of 2019, which was really nice, we just took those sideboards out and they started going in there to sleep and to lay. So that was fine. It was quite easy, really. There was the odd mistake where there was an egg in a random place, but the thing is, because we have silkies that are quite broody, they like to sit on their eggs, so it makes sense that they do it in the coop because it's a nice, comfortable, warm space. So it wasn't, again, it's not something we've done, they've just learnt it themselves. Number 4 is that the pecking order really is a thing. So it might sound like a bit of a joke, but they really do have a pecking order. So when you first get them, you'll see they develop a pecking order, so who's in charge and who's at the bottom, and you kind of really have to just let them do this. I know it's a bit sad to watch them develop this hierarchy of who eats first and who doesn't, and all of that, but it's just the way that they do things. So you've kind of got to let them to it. You will only notice it in the beginning because they're establishing who's in charge, but after that it's just, they just get on. Okay, number 5, not every chicken is going to lay every day, so you really want to keep this in mind when you're getting your chickens. We have silkies and they don't lay every day. They kind of are at the moment, you just can't guarantee that they'll lay every day. And the other thing is they go broody more often, so they will sit on their eggs more often. But yeah, it's why you're getting chickens. With us, we don't need that many, there's only 3 of us in the house, so you get at least 1 or 2 eggs every day, and we're getting 3 a day at the moment because they're just really on a roll with their eggs. But so they're all doing 1 a day, but not always. So that's something to keep in mind. If you really want lots of eggs, then consider getting a breed that's more just outputting more eggs. Number 6 is that hens, yeah, as you've noticed throughout this, hens do go broody. It is a thing that happens. They will decide that they're going to sit on their eggs and they are going to make sure this one hatches. The thing is, like I said, we don't have cockerels, so that egg is never going to hatch because it's not been fertilised, and you know, it's just, they don't know. Like I said, they do everything on behaviour, so sometimes they just take to sitting on their eggs, and that's kind of what they do. Strangely, our chickens go broody at the wrong time. They seem to go broody in winter, and at the moment they're laying like every day. So I really don't know. Our chickens are a little bit confused. But yeah, we've had them go broody a bit. The best thing you can do is just sort of shut the door on them, and you know, so they're in the garden, to stop them going back onto the egg, and you know, just collecting the eggs straight away so that they don't start taking broodiness to them. Because if you leave the eggs in there, then yeah, they're going to go broody. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed all these chicken facts, and if you still want chickens, I hope that, you know, they're great, that these sort of facts helped you. But yeah, see you soon. Bye!